Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Another great-looking group. Some of you look younger than I saw you last time. That's a good sign. This is a very hard week, as you all know, on the campus. But I know Dr. Wharton would have been pleased. He always enjoyed this event immensely. And it's kind of an uplifting moment in what has been a very sad week on campus. But to have the inductees here, their friends, their family, and be able to celebrate this particular moment, I know he would have been very pleased. This is the 9th year that we've held our Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. And we've had 61 former athletes and builders inducted. And we've had, I think it's now going to be 11 teams inducted into the Hall of Fame. And when you think about the number of years we've had athletics, and when you consider the fact the school didn't have a Hall of Fame until 2004, the number of people that have contributed to the success of the School of Mines, not only athletically, but then once they got out of school into industry or into their particular field of expertise, this is a very select group, because everyone that has been inducted into the Hall of Fame have gone on to great careers, all because of the School of Mines. Now, there was a certain story, I don't know if you saw it this week, in the news, and it was worth probably millions and millions of dollars worth of publicity. Something about the School of Mines graduates make more money than, I can't remember, some school back east. Anybody remember the name of it? Harvard. Never heard of Harvard. What a great tribute to the school and the students, the professors, the staff here at the School of Mines to be recognized in that way. So I just thought that another event in a week that's been very, very hard, that was a real nice boost for the school. I would like to introduce our athletic director to give you greetings not only from the school but from the athletic department. Dick Kaiser was on the executive council here at the School of Mines. He met with Dr. Wharton on a regular basis also as the athletic director. I know Dick would like to share a few sentiments. Dr. Kaiser.
One of the things that has made this week real tough is because not only did we lose a president, but for many of us, we lost a friend. And Bob and I became very, very good friends during the time that I was here. In fact, the reason that I'm here is because of him. He had a vision, and that vision was to move this university forward to be one of excellence in all areas. Academics, research, all of those, and including athletics. And when he chose to go athletics, we were currently in the NEI, and the next obvious step for us was to go to NCAA Division II. And so he and I met countless hours talking about the pluses and the minuses and what could we do and what couldn't we do. And there had been a groundswell before I came here about the potential of going D2, but it never really got a firm footing. Dr. Wharton came in 2008, and a little more than a year later, 2009, he made the decision for us to move to Division II. It has been a whirlwind process. We are now in what I call the 4th year. The NCAA politely calls it a 3-year process. It's definitely a 4-year process. And the thing that I want to tell you about Dr. Wharton is he was 100% behind this move. He absolutely felt it was the right thing to do. And I am fully on board, and we will continue that process. We recently had our last official visit by the NCA just about 2 weeks ago, and everything went according to good things. And unless something really pops up strange, we will become full NCA members in September 1 of next year. That's all a tribute to Dr. Wharton, because it wasn't just him saying, go for it, let's do it, keep your foot on the gas pedal, or whatever he would say. It was him committing finances, resources, people. Our staff has grown immensely, both with administrators, compliance people, assistant coaches, part-time assistant coaches. When I came here in 2009, we were about 14 or 15 strong. We are now 32 strong. Part of them are part-time, most of them are full-time. And that's a tribute to what he believed. And I would like to have you take just a moment, at your own way, your own style, to just say a little prayer for Dr. Carolyn Fozzie Wharton, who this was a shock to, obviously, and she is going to be moving and leaving Rapid City sometime soon as she continues on with her life. But she was an integral part of this too, as his partner, and as he always called her, the First Lady. So if you just, for a moment, take some time and just say whatever you need to in your own way to Carolyn. Thank you. This has been a rough week, but we are now on the upswing. This afternoon, we will do a tribute. The football team has put together a tribute to Dr. Wharton. We hope that you will all be in attendance. Our athletic program is strong. For some of you that haven't been back in a while, we added a sport. First sport that's been added, men's sport, to South Dakota School of Mines in 45 years. We added soccer. Head coach Joe Broker was able to recruit a total of 22 student athletes. 17 of them are freshmen that wouldn't be here if it weren't for soccer. They're from all over the country, and they've done a great job. And although they're still searching for their first win, I guarantee you they've played very, very well, and they've made the Hardrocker name very proud. We appreciate you being here. It's an exciting, exciting adventure to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I was never good enough as a student athlete to be inducted, but I've seen and attended well over 40 years of these types of events, and it never fails that anybody that gets inducted has a special feeling, has a special warmth in their heart for this university and for what went on in their athletic career. You should be proud of that. It is not easy to be inducted into a Hall of Fame. There are hundreds of student athletes that go through each university each and every year, and only a handful, as Tom said, 61 have been chosen. But we've been playing athletics for well over almost 100 years. So that's very special, and I hope you make this today very special. And if you need to say something to somebody in a public setting, please feel free. We are here because you gave of your time, your effort, and you gave of yourself. You've been a success, and we are very proud of you, and I thank you, and I hope you enjoy this afternoon.
I just want to acknowledge one other person this morning. We'll get on to lunch, but it's a very, I think, important recognition. A gentleman who probably put the Hardrock Club on its right direction back in 1989. Jay Brink came in to visit with him and suggested to him that, you know, maybe this guy by the name of Tom Rudebush would be a good choice for the Hardrock Club director, and would you support that? I hope he hasn't regretted it, but I'd like to recognize the former president of the School of Mines, Dr. Richard Gowan. And I want us also also to recognize Dr. Gowan because just a couple of weeks ago, he was inducted into another Hall of Fame for his contributions not only to the state of South Dakota, but to the region, to the nation, and really to the world. He's been involved in so many projects. He was inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Dr. Gowan. Sue and Tammy are back there. They're ready to serve us, so go ahead and start on your salads, and we'll begin the program here in about 30-40 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone, again. I want to thank University Dining Services for their fine work this new time. I would like to recognize an individual who has been a strong supporter of the school in many different ways, the Alumni Association, the Hardrock Club, and certainly has been a big friend of not only the athletic banquet in the spring, but this Hall of Fame banquet here today. A big thank you to Paul Benner. Paul? Our first induction will be the women's basketball teams from 78, 79, 79, 80. And what we are planning to do is have a reunion with those teams during the season, where they'll have a chance to see the women's basketball team play and bring them back later in the year. But we will induct them today. These two teams were dominating teams that captured SDIC conference basketball championships in those two seasons. And the 1980 team also won the AIAW state championship. We found out that thanks to Lori Copel, that means the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women. And that was an association they had back then. 79 team finished with an 18-6 record. The 79-80 team was 20-9, and the teams were coached by Bob Hunt. And we lost Bob several years ago, but his wife Helen is still going strong. I believe Helen said she's 92, still lives by herself, and is still active. I see her at the grocery store all the time. But she was going to attend today, but they had some family problems come up, not problems, family things come up that weren't bad or anything, so they weren't be able to attend, but we'll be able to see her later in the year. The stars of those teams, of course, were two people that are in the Hall of Fame right now, Carrie and Terry Meyer, along with Tammy Peterson. Those three players were the heart of these teams. And these two teams set the standard for women's basketball at the School of Mines. So I'll have Dick Kaiser accept their plaque on behalf of the athletic department. So 78, 79, 79, 80 women's basketball teams. Our next inductee in men's basketball is Bruce Badmoccasin. And Bruce was a star on the Hardrocker basketball teams from 1967 to 1971. He could not make it today, and we excused him. His son is getting married in Aberdeen today. So that was certainly a worthy reason. I have a note here from Joe Big. Joe played with Bruce and from that time, and he wrote me this email saying, "I'd like to applaud the Hall of Fame committee for selecting Bruce Badmoccasin as both a basketball star, and Bruce was also a very good cross-country runner also. He had a full and successful career with the health service and retired as one of their main managers in the organization. And Joe said he felt honored to have played basketball with Bruce over those 4 years, although he says at a slightly lower level than what Bruce played at. He says that he was more than honored and privileged to have played with Bruce. He has known Bruce for 45 years and wants to attest to his strong integrity while maintaining a solid demeanor of remaining humble throughout. He is truly a Hall of Famer
to be respected. That's from Joe Vig. And Bruce sent me this note. He says, Tom, thank you and the Hard Rock Club and Athletic Department for your selection and honor. My wife and children are excited to receive this honor. He goes on to say we are unable to attend due to our son's wedding in Aberdeen. I miss the Mines campus and the new buildings. Please give our regard to all the inductees and congratulations to everyone in the Hall of Fame. So Dick, would you accept Bruce's plaque on behalf of Bruce Badmoccasin? Our next inductee set a record in the 100-meter run in 1980 with a time of 10.2. And that is something that Jerry Schaefer wishes he could probably get out of his runners today. This mark was the best in this event at any level of collegiate competition in 1980. The key words in that sentence, any level of competition. NAIA, D1, D2, D3, whatever. He ran his record-setting 100 meters at a track meet at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. As you might remember, the 1980 Olympic trials were never meaningful because the Olympics were canceled that year with the political situation in Afghanistan. So whatever chance that Dwayne had to compete in the Olympics never materialized. His record of 10.2 still stands today. It's a record that many people just look upon with awe. A lot of kids say, man, I don't know if that record will ever be broken. Please welcome into the Hardrocker Hall of Fame, Dwayne Howard.
Well, a couple things. First, I miss this place that you didn't believe. I got my family with me. I'm going to get choked up because School of Mines meant a lot to me. I had wonderful, wonderful fellow athletes. There was never a loser at this campus. We competed a lot. We didn't always win, but we never lost, ever. The people that leave from this university go on to do great things and not athletics. It's something. Athletics was secondary to all of us. The star was always get that engineering degree, go out and do something great in the world. And the athletics was a part that was secondary, but it was very, very dear to all of us. And because of that, there's still a place in my heart. Now, the Olympic tryouts, they had them. There were no Olympics that year for the United States because of politics. Because of that, I'm still a very devout Republican. My goal throughout is, the dream from being a little child was to go to the Olympic trials. Doug King and Jack Hunter made that a reality for me. I would have went, would have competed well, would have been proud as punch to be on the School of Mines. 1980, I decided that I would chase that star a little further and go on and try to compete against the same people that I was able to. At that time, it was Carl Lewis and Ivan Crocker were the two fastest people in the world. Other than just hearing, I had Tom faster than that prior to the Olympic trials. So I left the School of Mines, probably one of the dumbest things I ever did. And I went on to run at Texas Tech. Finally got my engineering degree 2 years later and went on with my career. But the teamwork and the morals and the hard work that you have from the School of Mines was lost. I'd like to know what would have been different if I would have stayed. To that, I want to thank each of you and the other inductees. Congratulations as well. And this will have a little warm place in my living room. Thank you very much.
Dwayne told me a story story yesterday that I can't let go. And I'm going to force him to tell it. It involves a person most of us know, not everybody got King, but did you share that again?
Well, Doug was always, I mean, for those of you that know him as Man, You're a Beauty. You know, he would go on and he always called me his Palomino pony. And at that time, you got to realize I have no hair. At that time, I had shoulder-length blonde hair. I was a little bit of a radical. There was, I walked to the beat of a different drummer, I guess. But still, athletics were extremely important. Well, one of the things that would happen and there's no other members on the track team here, thank God for a moment. I would always have in my suitcase, along with my spikes and track gear and whatnot, there would be an air popper and a blender. And the night before the track meets, you're supposed to carb up. So my room, there was popcorn being popped, and there was margaritas going in the blender. So we'd get going, and some of us competed very well the next day, some of us didn't. Anyway, we come back from one trip. That's just you can't do that anymore. It's banned. No more. You can't have that. Well, I never went by the rules of anybody. I'm taking it. I'm sure that the teams after that weren't allowed to do so. So my story about it. Thank you.
Check this out. That was 1980. Dr. Gowan, that was before your administration. No worries.
I was vice president.
Forget. Our next inductee, I consider a very good friend. She was the point guard and floor general for the first Lady Hardrocker basketball team to qualify for the NAIA National Tournament. That was during the 1992-93 season. She was the first of high-quality point guards that became a staple of Lady Hardrocker basketball teams during the next 15 years. She fell just shy of 1,000 career points, but she's third in all-time assists, and she was named the SDIC Most Valuable Player during the 1994-95 season. She was a hard-working player that excelled both offensively and defensively, and the leader of that first national tournament team for Lady Hardrocker basketball. Please welcome into the Hall of Fame, Maria Fossum Cadwalder.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to all the inductees. This is very surreal to me. It's almost like a not here experience you dream about as a little kid. You're actually up here speaking now. You don't get into these positions in life without being surrounded by great people and people that help you, build you up. And I honestly feel that that's why I'm here today, is because of the people that have surrounded me throughout my life. My big belief is trust your journey in life. And I don't know if I was ever truly meant to come to the School of Mines. A little bit about my story. My parents actually knew Barb Felderman at Northern in college. So as I was a senior getting ready to graduate, looking at different colleges to play basketball, my dad ran across her name and decided to just show her, hey, this is my daughter, just wanted to make the connection from college. Never had any intention of being an engineer. I don't even know if I knew what an engineer was at that point in my life, to be real honest with you. Anyway, I have in my hand a letter that my dad wrote to Barb Felderman in 1991. She gave this to me a few years ago, and she wanted actually a video of me. She had come to Norfolk, Nebraska, and wanted a video to see me play. And he says to Barb, "Just a quick note to put with the video. It was good seeing you last week, but the time was short. After school, Ethlyn and I said she wished she could have spent the whole day visiting with you. The years have treated you well. You look great." The game on tape was on Saturday afternoon, 2 days after Maria sprained her right ankle in a Thursday evening game. You will notice, I'm sure, the added support on the ankle. With the help of heavy taping and an air cast, she was able to play. It did slow her down some, but she did say the pain actually lessened as the game went on. In spite of this, it ended up being one of her better games. Thanks again for stopping to visit. I hope it won't be as many years before the next one. But as a handwritten note, and this is before the time of computers, he actually typed this. P.S. Just an afterthought that Ethlyn and I had. We want you to realize we don't want our friendship to influence the way you view Maria, as any other prospect you may be considering. I'm sure is the way you have to treat your program, but we wanted you to know that we feel the same way. Besides, Maria would be furious if she felt she was being considered for anything other than her athletic ability. This is how my journey began at the School of Mines. Coach, the one thing I remember when she came to talk over anybody else, she promised me if I got a degree from here, the world was mine. And I still to this day call that my golden ticket in life. It truly is a golden ticket to have a diploma from here. And I didn't have any idea that I could actually get that done, but I did. You know, I was inducted with the team, Hall of Fame. It wasn't just me that got myself up here, it was my teammates. There's one in particular that I have to point out who's on the wall from last year, Leah, aka Turbo Novicki. She was just a dear friend to me. And as I was sitting up this morning, I couldn't sleep last night because I didn't have my speech done. Just to kind of set this up a little bit, we call Leah Turbo, and my husband Ryan was called Cat back then. And she puts this morning, "Congratulations, Hall of Fame. Have a great day, enjoy yourself. It's a fun day for you to celebrate. Slap Cat on the butt and tell him Turbo says congrats." So I had text back and said, "Thanks, Novicki, I couldn't have done it without you." And here's her response, and this is very true. "And to think we were barely scraping by academically. Now we're getting honored years later for just having fun." And that's exactly what we did. We just had an awful, awful lot of fun. You know, when you get to school and you're worried about your friends and who you're going to be, I always had my team. They were like my tribe. They were like my pack. That's who I followed. I never had to worry about anything. I just always had, it was my team. It's so hard to even put into words what this experience is, because your teammates are your forever friends. I don't remember any particular game, probably besides the national tournament. I remember no records. I remember none of that really means anything. It was just the friendships and the relationships that were built when I was here. Tech truly is a family. No, basketball after you play at the collegiate level is just never the same. And I can still remember when I walked off the basketball court in Huron for the last time of my collegiate career. You know, you go on and you try and play maybe some pickup games and you play some rec ball, but it truly is never the same. And I can't thank Coach enough for coming to recruit me, because I would have never had that opportunity otherwise. This is a little bit different for me because I get to share the spotlight today with my husband, which actually makes this even more special. And to have my two beautiful kids here. We actually live here in Rapid City, and I have Jake. Now he's been a coach of the Lady Hardrocker team for about, what, 7 years now? And I think Brooke was coaching when she was still in my tummy. But the most important thing that golden ticket, that diploma gave me, was the lifestyle to be able to choose to stay home with my kids. I was able to travel corporately and do a lot of things that I never would have gotten to do without that. But the thing that was so priceless that it gave me was the ability to stay home with my family and make that decision. And I would have never been able to do that without that golden ticket. Just a few people I have to thank. number one, my husband. This day means more just to share it with you, and also having you being inducted. To Coach and Lori, thank you so much for being my parents away from home in these years. You know, it's a good thing the words young and dumb go together, because I didn't even know what I was getting into when I got here. You know, to my parents for letting me come here. I mean, I remember when I told my parents I was going to go to the School of Mines, I think my dad thought I was nuts. But my mom truly knew in her heart I was competitive enough that if I would come here, that I would make it through. And thank you for that opportunity. You know, you always hear that saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I'm so proud to have fallen from yours. Frida and Verlin, thank you for sending Ryan out here. My life is I'm very grateful for that. He's a very wonderful husband and super father. To my friends in Rapid City, Teresa and Jeff, Eric and Tosh, I wouldn't be sane without you guys here in town. You're like my family in Rapid City, so I appreciate it. But I can't thank you guys enough. This has truly been an experience, and it's just a great honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
You know, when I was trying to get the order of how we would induct you, I went over to Ryan and I said, "Now, Ryan, would you like to go first, or should Maria go first?" And he said, Maria. I said, well, don't the women usually go so they have the last word? But now Ryan has a chance. I thought, you know, I've worked with Ryan. And as some of you may know, and some of you may not know, Ryan has been my broadcast partner for the last 5-6 years, something like that. And the booth and radio does an absolutely fantastic job. I consider him a very good friend. I've never been able to beat him on the golf course yet, but your time is coming. So this is a special moment for me, because Ryan has been a special person, a special friend. He had a great career, one of the most productive years in Hardrocker football history. He holds 4 receiving records at the School of Mines, all set during the 1995 season. They include receiving yards in a game, 212 yards in one game. In a season, 1,182 yards. Touchdown passes caught in the game, 4. And TD passes in a season, 13. His most memorable game is one of, you know, broadcast games, you always have 2 or 3 you remember. The Black Hills game from a couple of years ago. But the Black Hills game will always be etched in my memory from 1995. The Hardrockers trailed VH 28-6 at halftime. But Ryan brought the Hardrockers back with those 4 touchdown catches, and the Hardrockers won 42-34. And that following Monday, I don't know if Ryan remembers this, but the unemployment rate kicked up, because the Black Hills coach was fired that following Monday. And Ryan is probably responsible for that. So it's with, I'm very happy to introduce the newest member to the Hardrocker Hall of Fame, Ryan Capel. It's a good thing we're on the radio, right? Look at I don't think the group took it that way. Take it however you want. It's us. Thank you, Tom. Kind of like my wife mentioned, it's quite an honor. It's something you never quite wrap your hands around. I'm very honored and humbled to be standing up here today. For those of you that don't know, the School of Mines started playing football 1895. It's a long time ago.
And to have that many young men put on the Tech jersey and represent the school, it's quite an honor being the top 61 total in football. I think I counted roughly about 15 of us. So it's not something I ever set out to do. I did not come to the school of mines to play football. When I was a kid, I remember camping with my parents up at Yankton, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, that there was a dam. And I think I took the tour every time we were there and found out who did that, who designed it, how did it come about, and I said, that's what I want to be. So I'm sure the day I came home and told my parents, I'm going to the school of mines, I'm sure they thought in their mind, what is that kid getting himself into? If it's any consolation, I was thinking the same thing myself. But regardless, we loaded up a vehicle and didn't have a whole lot, but we loaded it up. We came out here to the School of Mines. I remember they got me moved into the dorm, dropped me off with a bike, said, we'll see you at Thanksgiving. And I don't know what the over-under was on how long I'd actually make it out here. I don't know if you guys will actually confirm that or deny it, but I'm sure there was conversation on how long this little kid from Sergeant Bluff, Iowa was going to make it out in Rapid City, but we made it through. So thank you. I appreciate that. The only one that probably trumped that was the day I called a year and a half later and said, guess what? I'm going off the football team. I'd love to have seen your guys' faces when I made that phone call. Thank you. I appreciate it for not trying to talk me out of it. But I had fun. And that's all you can ask for. And what I got out of this school was great. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. When I started my career here at School of Mines, there was a little bit of a dry spell. I think the last winning record or season was from '82. But that was also mentioned in the Harvard announcement, that it is great to come here and make money, but you just want to play football here. We did have fun, but regardless, it was kind of a dry spell. And really, I entered the game thinking of two thoughts. One is, for the crowd that did show up, I mean, today's another day. It's an absolutely beautiful fall Saturday afternoon. For those people that did come to the game and watch us, I always want to put on a show for them. I want them to walk away saying, wow, did you see what Catholder did today? That was impressive. I always wanted the little kids to, when they would go home and play with their buddies, I'm Catholder, I'm Catholder today, and hopefully they just took something away from that. Maybe got one of them to go to high school or even college and play football. So that's kind of how I did and interpreted every game I played for the School of Mines. Although I do have some personal and school records here that I set while I was here, it was a team sport. I had 55 other guys that helped make it happen. 11 of them on offense, a great defense. Some guys I'd like to specifically call out were my coaches, Coach Fiala, Coach Vermont, also our trainer, Kim Gibbons, who luckily for me was not very good at playing hide and seek, because there's a couple games I probably shouldn't have gone back in, but she couldn't hide my helmet well enough to keep me off the field. Coach Vermont for allowing me to walk on and just give me the opportunity to play and see what I could do for the school. I remember it was about a week into practice my first year, and I was the new guy, so none of the quarterbacks really wanted to throw to me because they didn't know me. I just kid that walked on. That's all it was. So it took about a week before the first quarterback actually threw one to me during scrimmage, and I remember I looked back and I saw the ball was coming and I went right into the sun. I completely lost it. Darn thing about hitting the helmet. So I'm running back and Coach Vermont, son, get over here, come here. He grabs me by the face and asks me, he says, son, when we throw you this little brown ball, we really appreciate it if you catch it. Got it, coach, I got it. Never did tell him I lost it in the sun, just made it my determination from that day on, I wasn't gonna drop another ball. So I wanna say thanks to coach. My teammates, we had one of the best defenses in the conference all 3 years. They were top notch. They got us the ball back all the time, got the offense on the field. Quarterbacks, receivers, linemen, every one of them had at least something to do with every catch, every yard, every touchdown. I want to call out my 3 receivers that when I started, Jay Van Hove, Troy Thorson, and Chad Johnson. Those guys helped me anytime I asked, and I was directly competing for their playing time on the field. Never once did they steer me wrong, tell me to go get lost, go find someone else, go talk to coaches. They helped me every step of the way. So, and that's just kind of the student athlete that we have here at School of Mines, so I appreciate those guys. I want to thank the SDSM&T staff and administration and all the contributors for putting up and establishing and maintaining a great academic and athletic program here in Rapid City. As my wife said, it was our golden ticket. With our degrees in hand, I was able to meet a very young lady, nice young lady, friend, wife, and from that we had our degrees in hand and we went everywhere. We had fun. We could do anything we wanted to do. The good news is it brought us back to Rapid City so I could work with Tom Rudebush.
He's trying to be nice.
It's going to be a long game this afternoon. Coach Collins already left, but another reason that, or 2 reasons I should say, is Jake and Brooke, our 2 young athletic individuals, we hope. Jake just started his playing career this year, his football career, so he's got a game this afternoon. I know at the same time Coach Collins is, so we can't come watch him play, but Jake did tell us the other day that he's narrowed down his selection. School of Mines is still in the running to play football. The other one's University of Nebraska, so. Unfortunately, Coach Collins left, otherwise he could have done a little recruiting today and tried to help get us there. Brooke, on the other hand, usually when we go to an athletic event, the first person she sees are the cheerleaders. She's checking them out. What are they wearing? What are they doing? What are they saying? So, Coach Belderman, you got a little work to do. Yours isn't quite as easy as Coach Collins. But I know you and her mother both want to have more of a basketball or softball career. So, anyway, you know what's in front of you. You just got to get it done. Lastly, I'd like to thank one of my fellow players, Scott Wickersham. Many of you guys don't know Scott. He was an outstanding linebacker. And more importantly, a work-study student athlete. My career, my football career, as I mentioned, or the way I got to the School of Mines wasn't exactly like everybody else's. I came here for the engineering. I played everything in high school. I played soccer, baseball, track, but I only played 1 year of football. I was probably, Mom and Dad, 5'8", 155 pounds maybe, dripping wet with all my pads on. So I never really wanted to be a tackling dummy. So I played soccer in the fall. I just messed around with basketball. I thought that was going to be my ticket out of here. So when I got to the School of Mines, looked up Coach Welsh. He said, "You better come on out. We'll put you through the ringer. We got tryouts." Well, there was about 5 to 10 of us that all tried out for basketball and we got cut. But it was those group of guys that found out we all had a competitive edge. It just wasn't at the college level. So we started playing what School of Mines had was intramurals. And luckily for me, during one of the flag football games, Scott Wickersham was doing his work study, just didn't come in, show up, put on his time card and leave. He actually paid attention. And he approached me after one of the games and said, "You know, you really ought to go out for the football team." I kind of laughed it off. Yeah, I'm just a little kid from Iowa. I don't think so. I've seen you guys play. There's some big boys out there. No, you gotta come on. Well, he kept pursuing me, and when he got tired of pursuing me, he sicked Scott Marshall, Jason Zimmerman, a couple other guys on me. And luckily for me, they didn't give up very easily. And after well, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a couple months before they got me talked into it. But as they say, the rest was history. And I appreciate Scott. Without him, I wouldn't have been on the football team. And without him, I wouldn't have been up here talking to you guys today. So, Scott, thank you. Also, thanks to all the rest of the inductees. It's an honor to go in with you guys, including my wife, Wayne, the rest of the team, everybody that was honored here today. I also want to thank all those that were involved in the honor. This is definitely something that I will value, cherish, and wear with pride from this day forward. Thank you.
You know, Ryan, at halftime, we talk about the first half, and one of his duties at halftime is to go through scores around the country and kind of give his analysis. But today, at halftime, he's going to have to go down onto the field to recognize. That gives me 20 minutes.
Be gentle, that's all I ask.
This young couple, and that's how I look at them, they are young at heart. They have been a part of this Hardrocker athletic program as first fans for more than 2 decades. They have made it a part of their life to attend all the Hardrocker athletic events. They've been very generous with their support of the Hardrock Club and the scholarship program. Tom and Nancy for years have cut out and mailed game stories of Hardrocker athletes to parents and grandparents. Tom has been a regular in singing the national anthem before our basketball games. You people have benefited the Hardrock Club as much as this young couple. But Tom and Nancy Oliver come up as builders. Tom and Nancy.
Well, I have to say, I feel very humble to be up here after all these great athletes. I was never much of an athlete myself, tell you the truth. Well, I've tried to stay in reasonably good physical shape all these years, but I was never much of an athlete. At West Point, the only core squad that I made was the B squad of the pistol team. Finally, I got dropped. They said they were running out of ammunition. Well, I think I'm about to set a record. I think I will probably give the shortest speech of all. Ryan said something about having fun, and basically that's what Nancy and I have done. We have had fun for years. It is fun to go see the Hardrock teams play. It has been fun to get to know some of the girls. Several times we had the ladies basketball team to our house for supper, and we enjoyed that, so that was fun also for us. And that's about it. Here we are getting recognized for having fun all these years. Okay, Nancy.
Thank you. Oh, when Maria was talking, I was remembering one of the dinner parties the girls came to. Tom Rudebush occasionally came, and he'd always sit in one corner of the living room where the books were, and would grab a book and sit glued.
I'm sure in trouble.
But Maria was and is short. Well, the problem was Tom always wanted a picture of these gorgeous women, and they would hop up on the hearth, and the tall ones invariably would get up there, and I'd say, "You get down, Maria, you get up there." And it was always great fun having them and having them eat as much as they did. We had 6 boys between us, and those appetites were pretty good, but these gals really So it was a pleasure, it was fun, and it has created tremendous memories for us. And I have to say to my stepson Don and his wife, thank you for taking over the dinner parties. Those gals were very nice. So thank you all so much.
I think all of us can see how heartfelt these acceptances are. And it's been like this for all 9 ceremonies we've had. The genuine affection that our inductees have for the School of Mines and what it has meant in their lives. So I think that comes through very clearly. We would like to get some pictures. So if all the inductees would hang with us for a while, we want to get some group pictures. I'm sure there's some individuals, family members like to take pictures here too, but we'd like to get some for the school. Just a reminder that the football game is at 5 p.m. This afternoon, and at halftime, we would like all the inductees to be at the 50-yard line. Don't walk out there while the game is still in progress the last 2 minutes. Wait, and then with about 5 minutes to go in the half, just meet on the grandstand side on the track at about the 50-yard line. Dick Heiser will be down there to greet you, and we'll introduce and recognize all of you at halftime. So if you need anything from me, let me know. Thank you. Each of the inductees, congratulations. It's a special afternoon again here at the School of Mines. Thank you for attending. And again, with the inductees would hang with us, we'll get some pictures. Thank you very much.